Genesis chapter 41. After 2 years, the king of Egypt had a dream while standing by the Nile River. He saw 7 fat and healthy cows come out of the river and eat grass. Then 7 other cows came out. They were skinny and looked sick. These thin cows stood beside the fat cows on the riverbank. Then the thin cows ate up the fat cows. After that, the king woke up. He went back to sleep and had another dream. He saw 7 full and ripe heads of grain growing on one stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain grew, but they were thin and dried out by the desert wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the full ones. The king woke up again and realized it was just a dream. In the morning, he felt worried. He called all the magicians and wise men in Egypt. He told them his dreams, but no one could explain them. Then the wine steward spoke to the king. He said, "Today I must admit I did something wrong. You were angry with the baker and me, and you put us in prison. One night each of us had a dream, and the dreams were different. A young Hebrew man was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he explained them to us. Everything happened just like he said it would. You gave me my job back, but you executed the baker." So the king sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought out of prison. Joseph shaved, changed his clothes, and came to the king. The king said to Joseph, "I had a dream, and no one can tell me what it means. But I've heard that you can understand dreams." Joseph said, "I can't do it myself, but God will help me explain your dream." The king told Joseph, "In my dream I was standing by the Nile River. 7 fat and healthy cows came out of the river and ate grass. Then 7 thin and sick cows came out, worse than any I've seen in Egypt. The thin cows ate the fat cows, but they still looked just as thin as before. Then I woke up. I also dreamed about 7 full and ripe heads of grain growing on one stalk. Then 7 thin and dried out heads of grain grew. The thin heads swallowed up the good ones. I told these dreams to the magicians, but they couldn't explain them." Joseph said to the king, "Both dreams mean the same thing. God is showing you what he is going to do. The 7 fat cows are 7 years, and the 7 full heads of grain are also 7 years. These mean 7 years of plenty. The 7 thin cows and the 7 dried out heads of grain mean 7 years of famine. This is what I meant when I said God is telling you what he will do. There will be 7 good years with lots of food in Egypt. Then there will be 7 bad years of famine, and people will forget the good years. The famine will be so bad that the good years won't be remembered. Because you had the dream twice, it means God has decided to do this soon. Now you should choose a wise and understanding man to lead Egypt. Also choose other officials to collect 1/5 of the crops during the good years. Let them gather all the food from the good years and store it in the cities. This food will be saved for the 7 years of famine coming to Egypt. This way, people will not starve during the famine." The king and his officials liked this plan. The king said, "We won't find a better man than Joseph, who has God's Spirit in him." He said to Joseph, "God has shown you all this, so you are the wisest of all. I will put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Everyone will obey your commands. Only I, the king, will be greater than you. I now make you the governor of all Egypt." The king took off his royal ring and put it on Joseph's finger. He gave Joseph fine clothes and put a gold chain around his neck. He gave Joseph the second best royal chariot. People went ahead of him and shouted, "Make way!" So Joseph became the governor of Egypt. The king said, "I am the king, but no one in Egypt will do anything without your permission." He gave Joseph an Egyptian name, Zaphenath Paneah. He also gave Joseph a wife named Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, a priest in Heliopolis. Joseph was 30 years old when he began working for the king. He left the palace and traveled all over Egypt. During the 7 good years, the land grew many crops. Joseph gathered all the food and stored it in the cities. He stored the food from the fields near each city. There was so much grain that he stopped counting it. It was like the sand of the sea. Before the famine came, Joseph had 2 sons with Asenath. Joseph said, "God helped me forget all my troubles and my family." So he named his first son Manasseh. He also said, "God gave me children in the land where I suffered." So he named his second son Ephraim. Then the 7 good years ended. The 7 years of famine began, just like Joseph said. There was famine in other countries, but Egypt had food. When the Egyptians got hungry, they cried out to the king for food. The king said, "Go to Joseph and do whatever he tells you." The famine got worse and spread all over Egypt. Joseph opened the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians. People from all over the world came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph. The famine was very bad everywhere,